Oh, that's my pen which is shining. Let's take it out. Okay. Okay, so I've gone live. I hope people are watching. So this is the launch of this book, WTF, I Found God. And yeah, I'll just make it this way so that you can see. Okay, you can see the audience a little bit. I can show you the audience around. Still have people coming in because there's a huge construction and people haven't been able to arrive as yet, but I have to start on time. So all of you who are on the way, you can start watching the live, and I waited for you, but so I have to start right away. So I started writing this book. When I started writing this book, it was just a fun recording of whatever I learned after having semi-retired from being a hard-nosed news desk journalist and was welcoming the change of operating two fun businesses from home and leading a reasonably peaceful but boring life in North America. So due to a curious mind, through various scientific, quasi-scientific and pseudo-scientific knowledge floating in the internet sphere all around me, I found a lot of contradictory and thrilling concepts that I wanted to share. So when I started writing this book, okay, I think I needed I was born in the world, a lot of us were born in the world when blackberries and apples were just fruits. Web was a thing that spiders spun, and net was something you caught a fish with. Hardware was hammers and saws and nails and you worked with, and software was never heard of. Rams, spiders, Blu-rays, bugs were all living creatures, some of them even creepy and crawly. I do not understand how they made their way into textbooks. Our generation began with a simple radio and rotary telephones, where phones didn't have any caller ID screens and we were free to make any number of crank calls. Then we witnessed the magical invasion of the black and white television, complete with its giant crate and sliding door, giving it a dramatic stage-like effect. It made its grand entry and perched in a pivotal role in our living rooms for life. Even today, larger and larger screens, getting slimmer and slimmer over the years, these TV sets are incontestably the most important device in our lives after smartphone. I had kind of liked our generation. We believed in ghosts, believed in UFOs, Santa Claus, love, and miracles. It was a pleasant state of mind to let someone else take the onus of your existence. It was relaxing to let your imagination construct a guardian angel for yourself. I still do. In fact, I leave a lot of decisions to God and gods. There are two types of gods which I've mentioned in my book. One with a capital D and one with small d, that's personal gods. Of UFOs, I'm also still a gleeful believer. Born a Hindu, raised in a Hindu household, we never took religion seriously. In fact, we lived in chaos. When I was small, the street in front of my house in Kolkata, India, was categorically divided into three parts. The heritage yet decrepit Hindu Bengali residence area, complete with Baroque Takudalans, which are like constructions and stages where the idols was worshipped, the multicolored arch-shaped Muslim houses and mosques, and stretching into the last part of the lane were the Gothic structured grim wooden stair buildings that were inhabited by the Christians. So as children, we had the best of all three religions and often forgot which religion we were supposed to follow. During Ramzan and Eid, the same street would be dressed up with lines of colored triangular flags fluttering in the autumn sun. Young boys would run up and down the street wearing skull caps and vibrant new clothes. Right after the flags begin to start tearing and the young boys have made airplanes out of them, strings of mango leaves and colored thermocol balls would be hung over the street, heralding the advent of Bengal's greatest festival, the Durga Puja. Right after that, during Christmas, the same street would be illuminated with huge paper starlights, balloons, and decorated with the statues of Jesus and Mary. I grew up hearing the litanies of both Azan and Mahalaya permeating in through my sleep, and learned Christmas carols and hymns from childhood in the Protestant school that I attended for 14 years. They were just festivals for us and not any fervent religious occasions. We bought new dresses and ate awesome food for almost all the occasions. Biryani for Eid, Nahum's cake for Christmas, completing our celebration with a small Santa Claus and an artificial Christmas tree, and at least half a dozen new dresses for Durga Puja. I read from Feluda to Naroda and learned about the scientific contributions of Bose to Higgin. I only believed in humanity. I never knew religious differences. So I was caught unawares in Canada when a Christian judgmental friend asked in a corny way, "Oh, do you know about Christianity? You decorate the Christmas tree also." A Muslim colleague asked me one day, "Do you eat biryani too?" I've also seen how a prejudiced senior member of a church, when I walked into the church one day unannounced, struck by the serenity of it. "You're a Hindu, right?" she asked suspiciously, as I flustered to explain why I love churches and have wailed in front of Jesus with all my troubles so many times. Okay, we're coming to the controversial parts story. In Canada, most people I met were clinging onto their religion much as though their identity depended on it. After encountering many people in Canada who were starting to take my jokes on religion seriously and thinking I'm a freak or something, I began to scour Hinduism sincerely for the first time. Researching beyond my childhood's carefree celebration of Durga Puja, Eid and Christmas. This search led me into so many interesting facts that I felt the need to write them down. Now it has become a 400-page book. This book will try to go deep into the tenets of all holy books and will try to find out who wrote them in the first place and who made religions and why. And why did they all talk about a supreme power guiding us? Rationally speaking, when I look at the Voyager 1, which was launched by NASA on September 5th, 1977, and that it has sped its way through the sky, through the solar system, and found no giant bearded figure with white robes at the edge of the universe, I am a little stumped. Yet I worship my God. I burn an incense every day to my Hindu deities and chant a Zen Buddhist mantra while doing so, and decorate my Hindu goddess with maple leaves during Durga Puja. Religious zealots would actually be blasphemed by such concoctions. And I still believe there is a superpower who has plans for my future. And in the same breath, I think, even if there is one, why would he? He has so many creatures to handle, so many more viruses to create. I am so minute in his realm of things. How can he see or partake in any of my problems? I'm so sad to see that God had not been there when we needed him in the wars of Syria and Afghanistan, where children were being sold in cages, women were being treated as sex slaves. Do you think none of them prayed to God? Where was God when Nazis did whatever they did during World War II? How did evil come to play? Was God not there during the Dark Ages? Yet there are those soothsayers sitting on earth with a group of people at their feet, telling them that God is above us and that he loves us. Above us is the blue sky, which is actually the shortest wave of light caught in the thin crust of the atmosphere that envelops the earth and that we have been blessed with. Beyond that is black, the nothingness, the millions and billions of light years of space which does not have any beginning nor an end, in which the earth is just a microscopic speck. Where is God? Where is heaven or hell that you so talk about? And here's a spoiler alert. Of course I found God at the end of the book. I found that a-hole who lit the matchstick and fled, leaving all living things possible to fend for themselves. With him Almighty could make us of limited strength and pull his strings in a hyper-tight technological simulation. And then at the end of each weakling's life, he could judge them on the basis of how they went with the flow or disobeyed the laws and flick them off with a finger to some other multiverse, calling it a heaven or a hell, again to be reborn and fend for themselves, while him Almighty played the flute. I found that God. This is a journey for you to find God, to get into the colossal labyrinth of facts and fiction and myth and mythology and data. The stories somehow emerge unscathed with the belief that you have found God. Okay, this I'll say it in the end. So now there are a lot of chapters, a lot of parts of the books. Thanks for coming down, everybody. Sorry I had to start on time. Okay, yeah, I can see you, Sylvan. Thanks so much for coming down. Okay, so there is one chapter over here, which the reason why I started writing this book was during the COVID times, when so many millions of people were dying, and they were being carried in body bags, and even their own relatives were not allowed to touch them. So I was very frustrated, and I was wondering what was God doing that time? Why is humans suffering so much? So before COVID, God was the Almighty, the omnipresent, omniscient. There were thousands flocking to Mecca to visit the Kaaba, hundreds going to Vatican City, going on Sundays to the churches. Millions were pouring milk on the phallus of Shiva. Thousands were chanting Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Reshmi, Sandeep Chaudhary, Shadeshna, Alokika. Oh God, please, I was expecting you here. Kovapita Krishnan, please, I can bring you all camera if you want to come on camera. Add all of them. Please come on camera. I love to. Okay. Thousands chanting Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. God was alive among millions of humans. And then suddenly, COVID-19 struck. Churches were closed, and Kaaba was shut down, and temples closed doors. God shunned us during COVID. And not just during COVID. Okay, that part we can talk about later. God, according to various religious teachers, is not there to protect you from all evils. He's just there to grant you the strength to fight evils. Believers say that God was crying all around during this suffering, when humans were all gasping for breath, choking to death. But God is omnipotent, omniscient, all powerful, and God loves you. So why was he just crying in the miserable state of his most important creation? Couldn't he squash that microscopic bug with one swish of his hand, of his wand? It seems he's let you suffer because he loves you. And it seems that it had been already prophesied thousands of years back that such calamities like disease and war will strike mankind. It might kill mankind, completely annihilate it, but doesn't matter. What matters is your relationship with God. Jesus apparently told in the Bible, don't fear those who can kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Rather fear him. What is only getting eliminated is just the body, but our soul has an eternal relationship with God. Similarly, Hindus to believe what is getting destroyed is just the body, and the soul is getting liberated. They are saying this whole thing is karma, that this is the work of humans themselves, digging their own graves for years. Hindu spiritual organization Brahma Kumaris issued an online statement sometimes in 2020 explaining that mankind has its roots in its past actions. Of course, other Hindus simply drank cow urine to ward off coronavirus. I'm not sure how many people following Islam actually believe that this is the doomsday for us, because I saw videos of a bunch of them licking the railings of mosques in Iran, and a whole lot of them were not wearing masks in Canada, despite the fact they were deeply diligent about wearing a burqa or hijab at all times. Islam scholars say that God does not punish people unless he sends the messenger to them, explains to people the exact punishment that they would receive. Other Islam scholars stated that this is possible due to people's sin, and whoever died would be considered as jihadis, hence Allah is giving them rahmat. There are some other fundamentalists of all religion, Trump, and many Westerners who hoarded the sand beaches the moment Trump said that sunlight will kill the virus, and sanitizers could be inserted in your veins and thought coronavirus is fake news. It is due to such refuters that the virus spread like wildfire and killed all others who were not meant to be. This coronavirus could not be proven, could not be, it's not complete without the quip from Sadhguru, the present day techie smart bike riding Hindu mystic guru who speaks about everything from Shiva to Madonna. According to him, Shiva, the Hindu god of creation and destruction, is okay with the virus. When asked what Shiva's opinion about the coronavirus, he said Shiva has no problems with the virus. You see, he says, the virus is also life. And Shiva supports all forms of life. So if the virus behaves smartly and mutates into 10 different dimensions, you may come up with one vaccine to kill one, but the other 9 will survive and mutate into 900. Who knows? Actually, though the virus is not really live, he was just correct. As I write this, the virus is mutating and devastating my home country, India. So this is about a bit from the coronavirus, God absent during coronavirus, which I've seen. Next, I'll go to the chapter which is God and religion. How are they connected? How is God connected with religion? I'm still expecting Indrani, if you can come. Alokika, I'm so happy you're still there on camera, on watching me. I'm so happy. Please be with me. Thank you. So how did we start worshipping God in the first place? To say this, let me just tell you one small thing from another chapter. The one thing that I'm going to be making clear in this book, entire book, is that spirituality and religion are two separate things. You can be spiritual, yet not be religious. You can be religious, follow all religious rituals and customs, yet be so lost in them that the thought of finding God never occurs to you. Or you can be agnostic, searching for the truth, not be religious or spiritual at all. Or you can be an atheist, yet be deeply spiritual to the universe and the creation. Having said that, to understand who was God in the who was the first God ever, we have to take a sneak peek into our ancient history. From the beginning, man had always believed something greater than himself. Neanderthal man existed from nearly 30,000 years ago. There is evidence of religious practices amongst at least some Neanderthal populations, like the embryonic position and the east-west orientation of some burials with grave goods such as flint tools, the possible scattering of flower blossoms. In the beginning, the more humans ventured out from their caves, the more they met with things they didn't understand, and the more they worshipped them, like the sun, the storms, the waves, the sea. So we have, I'll just tell you a little bit, like the Egyptians worship the sun god Ra. Similarly, the Hindus worship the sun god Agni. And I guess the Greeks worship the similar sun god. So all nature was worshipped in different forms all over the world, in different communities. Okay, so I talk about the religions and Hinduism over here. I'm not going to get into very big details because we have limited time. The universe is really, really old, over 13 billion years old. In comparison, the Earth is 4 billion years old. We all know that. We all know now that the universe contains at least 2 trillion galaxies in our own Milky Way. Now look at this. This is a very mind-boggling big place. It is difficult to believe God would place his greatest creations on this obscure part of the universe in the tiniest and most helpless form, so helpless that they would have to evolve like infants over time, without any guardian, from inventing fire to discovering iron and all the elements around him for his benefits, to the latest inventions of the smartphone, AI, and robots. If God created man in his own image, why would he or she make humans so helpless? Why wouldn't he, I'm just using he for continuous convenience, have created us directly with all the amenities around us so that we could have started at level 4 of the Kardashev scale? The Kardashev scale is a kind of method of measuring the amount of civilization's level of technological advancement. And and become an interplanetary race already, unless he values rocks and cosmic dust more highly than humans. It also seems that even though God has created all life on this only one medium-sized planet, only humans worship God. Did you witness any tiger worshiping God? Do polar bears have God? So is it true that God created man? Or is it the other way around? So here from here to here, like the middle of the book, I debunk the existence of God completely. So there is another one, another small paragraph which I like to say. As for Hinduism's Lord Krishna, who was born into mankind to save mankind, apparently plays with the universe like his toys. So what has been the intention of God? To belittle mankind? Okay, so we've spoken about this a little bit. So let me jump into God and parallel universe. Okay, so there is a chapter called God and Parallel Universe. Parallel universes are no longer a figment of imagination. Scientists believe they exist in theory. It seems that a complete me or you exists in another universe, leading some other life, may have taken some other decision. So what do you think you want to be a parallel universe counterpart to be? It's like we have taken decisions in our lives, different decisions, like and our lives had branched out into one. So the other person, other me, which had taken the other decision, where do you think her life or his life would have branched out into? It's a nice place for us to think and analyze. And now parallel universes are slowly becoming a scientific theory. No, if not, it's and also a lot of science fiction books, content of a lot of science fiction movies. Actually, there are not just one universe, there are several, in fact, called the multiverses. And according to the physicist Michio Kaku, 11 dimensions are there in the multiverse. Now, when I started researching, after I found out that scientists were very serious about parallel universes and talking about parallel universes, I went into the religious aspect of it and what has God got to do with parallel universes. So I found I had actually dived into a rabbit hole. So there is one thing before I go into the religious part of it. I just say that it is a wormhole and it's just a parallel universe. There's actually a place where I mentioned a wormhole, which is a speculative structure linking disparate points in space-time, and it's based on a special solution of the Einstein field equations. In 1935, Einstein and physicist Nathan Rosen described how two sheets of space-time can be joined together, creating a bridge between the two universes. This is one kind of a wormhole, and you can actually space travels through space or time travel through a wormhole. So after this, when I looked at the concept of God and multiverse in religion, I found myself diving into a rabbit hole. What about Christianity? Religious Christian physicists believe that if multiverse exists, they would surely be created by God. Stephen Hawking exited the earth by saying there's no God and no one directs our fate. In his final book, Brief Answers to the Big Questions. I hope he's not regretting his decision now. So twice in Bible, twice Jesus entered the group of his disciples without using a door. In John 20, by New Testament, verses 19:23 and 26:29. Entering a room through the walls is only possible by the fourth dimension, which is a part of the dimensions of the parallel universe. Another example of movement is only possible in the fourth dimension is contained in the Acts 8, verses 39 to 40, where Philip baptized a eunuch on a road and that was swept up by Lord and found later that day at Azotus, which was several days' journey from where Philip baptized the eunuch. So that is some examples of parallel universes existing in Bible. So parallel universes existing uh, in the okay, but it's all Hinduism. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. In Islam, how it exists is in one verse in Quran, it says, "Praise to the Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds." That is Surah Al-Fatiha, verse 1, 1:2. Notice the word is worlds, not world. It means that Allah is the creator, sustainer, and master of all the worlds in our universe, and inevitably any inhabitants on this world. In another verse in the Quran, it says, and among his signs is the sign of heavens and the earth, and the living creatures that are scattered through them. He has the power to gather them together when he wills. So, also in jinn is an Arabic term used in the Quran to describe beings that live beyond our perception. As some literary scholar points out, the term popularly attributes to genies or demons, but its actual meaning has a far wider implication than that. Thank you, Shubha. Thank you, Jyoti. Coming on, come on. You want to become, you want to come on camera? You can come on camera. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So thanks for watching, everybody. So, in fact, the genes are concealed from our senses, the jinns, sorry, and implicate that they live in dimensions beyond our perception. The Quran often refers to a realm which is beyond the reach of human perceptions. So, in Hinduism, when I started this, I realized that parallel universe existed. Thank you, Rani, for coming down. We're waiting for you. Existed even before mankind or the scientists even thought about them. Scientists are just beginning to think about them. The religious texts actually had them thousands of years back. So Hinduism believes that darkness is primal. Like in Bible says Bible it says God says that let there be light in Genesis 1 colon 3 around 4004 BC. But Hinduism believes that darkness is primal, constant and permanent. Lights come and go. Like a bulb or the sun, they will eventually die out. The Hindu texts, primarily the majority of the Puranas, describe innumerable universes existing all the time. So in Hinduism, there is almost seven lokas, and the distinction there is several lokas, they have their own lokas, and it just goes on and on and on. Hinduism, it's an elaborate, elaborate mention of various dimensions that have been existing, various planes, and here we all know that heavens and hell and different kinds of heavens and different parts of hell, they all exist in the lokas, in the various uh, textbooks, Hindu holy books. Okay, so we're coming to the end of it. I won't take much of your time. We are going to finish it very soon. So I'll come to the last part of the book, which is saying, WTF, I found God. So why did I give this name? Actually, by the end of this research, when I just, I stopped writing and I just said this aloud. WTF, I found God. That was what came out from my mouth. That is exactly the thing I gave to the very honest thing to do. I thought it was very honest thing to do. Give exactly this name on the cover. So I was too scared to start writing this chapter, the last chapter, which is called WTF, I Found God. I'm scared that I may have misled you to believing or not believing something. I'm scared that so many things may have developed after the publication of this book that I might sound stupid. Subconsciously, this book has become a letter to my future generation, a kind of calling from the past when we did not know a lot of things. If you're 100 years into the future, you may laugh and think how nice this book is, of which I'm sure because when I look even 30 years into my past, I see how nice we were. So here is a letter for you. I'm sure humanity is still searching for God, and there are still staunch fundamentalists who are worshipping God and fighting wars over religion. This is for you, the youth of tomorrow, to understand how to confront this fundamentalist. If you do not know how to find God, how will you teach others how to find Him or abandon the search completely? When we pray sincerely in front of God, we ask exactly what we want. The moment we ask this, we know what we want and then work consciously towards that goal. Once we achieve that goal, we attribute that success to that particular temple, church, mosque or the gods and make that construction, the deity famous. God didn't do it. You did it. This is the mind that rules, makes you or breaks you, the mind that defines you. The mind finds God inside, within oneself, despite all doubts. I had to go deep into soul searching and quantum meditation to be able to establish the presence of a higher self, higher dimension existing in each one of us, in each atom, inside each core. I became as tiny as a core, and then I became all encompassing as a multiverse. I realized how tiny I am, and then how giant I am. I began to grasp how unimportant I am, and then I recognized how important I am. I am microscopic in the realms of the universe, yet I'm leaving my footprint behind, leaving my generations behind, aiding in continual of my humankind. I am destructible, but my soul isn't, my spirit isn't, my footprint in the iCloud isn't, my DNA isn't. I am there, always, will be there. I am the speck of, I'm a speck in the sands of time, but I compose the time, the specks, the space, the universe. I am the basis of matter. So are you. So is the rock nearby. So is the mosquito that just bit me. So is my iRobot. Just like what Krishna told Arjuna in the great wars of Mahabharata that comprise the Bhagavad Gita. I began to feel how little we know about God. We place Him in churches, temple, mosques, and gurdwaras, trying to harness the explosion of energy in little puddles. And think we have visited God? No, dearies. God is not just there in the temples and churches. God is not just in the manifestation of Him in little idols of Ganesh, Durga, Shiva. God is not just there in the East. God is in the core, in the strings of all beings. God is in the ether, the vacuum, the darkness, like tiny atoms, protons, and electrons fill up the air, but we cannot feel or see them unless we want to harness them. Similarly, the power of God is all around us. We cannot feel it or see it or unless we want to harness it within ourselves. God is that living, breathing energy that created the universe, testing the universes, that breathtaking rainbows on earth, vast oceans, the exhilarating waterfalls, gorges, rivers, mountains. Look around, the kaleidoscope aurora borealis, the grandeur of the nebula floating bright in the dark space, way past our galaxies, the glorious grandeur of other galaxies, star clusters, the planets, moons, asteroids, meteors, comets, just like a game, just like a psychedelic video game. No wonder poet Qazi Nazrul Islam, as well as scientist Mitri Kapoor, said the same thing, that God is playing a game up there, and the game has just begun. Thank you. Thank, thank you so much. So, this has a number of chapters, and yeah, I'm sure you will find it interesting. So, I would like to what small discourse we have after this. That is the topic of discussion is religion. Game over. I know this is way up, like uh, way beyond our situation right now. This ahead of time, straight ahead of time to discuss this right now. But I want your opinions on this and your honest opinions on this. Like, it's having a society where you have no bias, you're not biased, you just judge as a human being without the bias of judging you from a religion, gender, sex, color, country, creed, accent, descent, anything. Is that kind of society that we want to head to? Are we ready for it? So that is the question now. I would like to invite Sanjukta Dad, um, my favorite Didi, and Abida, Abda Ali Beg, right? Okay, please come up. And Idrani Roy, please come up on stage. and we can let's talk about. You guys can talk about this. I'll lend you the mic. Come, come, come. So I'll just carry this. Okay. Thanks so much for coming down. I'm really happy that you're doing this. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. এটা ধরনের এটা ফেসবুকটা অনেকে দেখছে অনেকে দেখছে Oh my God, this is such an honor. I just want to introduce myself by not who I am in Toronto, but this relationship completely cycle. You know, uh, Martin's husband and I are toddler friends. I'm telling you, when we were toddlers, like probably from the first year of his life or second year, his mother and my mother were best friends. So we didn't work together, and we have a shared childhood. So when we got to the countries, I think I was one of the first people to meet her because she comes from the very space of my childhood days with Ronnie, whom her husband, my very happy for Ronnie. So I'm here not because I even she said, oh, I am here not because I am a teacher in terms of living. I am not here because I want to write and I'm a spiritual person. I'm here because I love her writing. I love that she has had the guts and audacity to voice what is meant to honest. How many immigrant women have been influenced? I love it and I want to share my support because I believe and it's our birthright to be happy wherever we are. And something that's just touched the call. She's happy in this present status where she has one little foot under the tiny little thing of it. She hasn't retired. She wants to think so. But she has a little teeny toe, inside the diamond. And she's loving the work that she does. And I think that needs immense support. So yes, I don't want to talk much about religion because that's a topic. And because I don't want to wage a war inside this room, that's not my purpose. And that's coming from my perception. That's coming from my belief. That's coming from who I am. So I really don't want to, or I don't have the audacity to talk about it. So what I really would love to say is, I love what she spoke about God. I love that she and I actually think the same. The whole time that I listen to her exploiting, like every human mind. Why is she saying that? Why is she? But ultimately, by the end of the book, she, I, see. And
That is the beauty of this session. So once again, she reiterated the fact, who is God? Did God create man? Or did man create God? What is the problem to think that it is important? That God probably created the best version, and that's us. And then now we can create God the way we want. We think about Him. And what is wrong with that? And why should we extinguish the fact that just because God was born from a parent's mind, that is wrong, or that's criminal, or that's whatever? Right. Having the best sculptures, every philosophy, every artistic work, every creation, has it not been created from man's mind? So what is wrong is from that mind a God has created. So, I don't know when I read it, but I don't know that it's just the generator, God is a generator, and the always probably somebody who has organized and then the destroyer. So what is it that makes us feel that we have all human beings are different? We are the same prototype. We are generating, we are organizing, and then we are destroying. And again, I'm saying that this is how we do. It's not about some, specific form, some specific. It's so beautifully at the very concept that we come from a country where everything has been embraced. We've had the best eats, we've had the best businesses, and we have celebrated Durga Puja. Okay, it's sad now. And in the name of the Father and the Holy down and backwards, I don't know the power of these brokers. But very, very quickly is now economics. She grew up in Delhi, she learned Sanskrit online, and now she's in Benares. She's taken it here to Africa because she wants to learn the English locals. But that, in my mind, doesn't undermine any other religion because that is how we grow. I went to an Irish school, an Irish convent school, the Loreto Convent, which is school globally. So, whatever I'm doing as an immigrant woman teaching in a college is because I went to that Irish school. But not feeling grateful, yes. But I also feel angry that I was barred from speaking my mother tongue in the school. And so that fear of my mother tongue school kept growing, and I kept it about somebody in this that eventually happened in school. So, there are the things that then coming back. God is God is also the upper inside in my baby mind. It's actually inside me. The energy in me that transformed it, that created spirit. Why should God be somewhere else? And that is my spiritual life. The minute I shut my eyes, I see that spirit inside me, which is the same as inside outside, and creates that organizes and that is I got to know Kanye very recently through Love of Dog. Some of us might buy the first one, in fact, to my knowledge, That just shows you which you love me, so it's more of I think my time is not good. So I didn't know that my good to offer anything to come up with things. I don't think about God, honest. I don't actually think honest, but I want to be honest. I do sometimes think about people who have the feeling that they can think of like struggle. Oh, I'm breaking me. God, it's just kind of empty. I cannot rely. I didn't grow up. It's not in my head. So my solution is what can I do to solve my own problem? What can I do? Or what can friends do? I don't think of God. But I've been envious like my mother who can just read God. Talk to quite a bit. Follow my people. It's amazing. It's just not. I don't know if I can. So I'm very, very inequitable to talk about it. Like really, to an English medium school. I did not remember much about the time very well. Data not needed very well. It was very distant from the religion I was born into. I've always appreciated the fact that we are things to embrace people respect as gender or whatever. But somewhere I'm sure how to that aspect. If those things bring solace, if those things bring that's okay. Just because I didn't grow up in it, I'm not going to judge myself. So I'm just like someone just rambling here. This topic is so outside of who I am. But kudos to you, really kudos to you for being who you are. I know to write words, to set a lot of things. And I feel all for even starting this discussion. And I think these types of discourse needed. I did bring this up with children last night already. It was very interesting in their Gen Z, and they were not very extreme. They didn't say, oh, yeah, okay, they just said, and I agree, you got these little songs, got this something in the movement. That's very confident. She's not using that to hate. She's not using that to hate. It's bringing her comfort, it's bringing her solid. That's some like I was not because I don't know how to work. I don't know how to do religion. I don't know how to work at all. I go to the puja, when I shall be, I go to Nostalgia, fun aspect. I don't do it there for a day. So someone if they know how to think, and mind just so I don't I put that point that one nothing harmful about it. I think it's humility and how you grew up in the way someone else was raised. So they have their mother was raised very differently in her generation. She didn't have the Catholic education I had and her expectations. So who am I to dismiss what's in ourselves? Because I was raised different. I don't know. There's a core that there's privilege the other thing that may give me the power to stand here and say, I don't believe God. I don't believe God. I look at everyone I feel about it as oh I'm so educated. So I'm kind of a story. It's a real story. I was in Patepo City until it comes on and we're having this discussion to become confidence and I'm thinking of the public that's his guilty breaks all the public and I saw these two public people back in the day. So I'm seeing the spitting in the sun, saying 6, 7 on the board, was brought up in the neighbors. And then I started asking him about school. What have you done? He talked to me, making strategic decisions. And what he's done is where he sense like to that to the extent could be device. And I had a revelation. It took me to the state in the state, but it's how growing up to be taught. It's not hard. So it's not religion. The way it comes to be positive. I have a practice. I have connections. I loved to eat growing up. I always eat a little bit of meat. I love my friends. My gosh, that's forever. I love to my dad always put so so it's never about religion. Nor the child is the child. It's about the exposure and the it's religion of life. It's not important. Yeah. And that's fine. To me, it's fine. That brings a comfort, that brings a solace. Ultimately, that brings a love. That's okay. Or not so bad. Our friends think right, they're a great example of the love of tribe, religion, or anything like that, right? So it's religion. And some people don't want to function like they can't. Let's bring up a point. So who am I to tell this parents don't send that to school? They don't. So we have to understand complexities in society before we judge, even from the place that should exist. We have to really understand something that's exists. And of course, place, but I just think we understand the function. That's the greatest religion. Absolutely, very well said. The question to talk about it. I think we always discuss that what I was doing. We always discuss about discuss about. For me, I think religion to be a good in look around, take care of people around you, take care of take care of the people who are living, take care of the people. I think that's the religion. I think that's what in our religion, outcome was like. I don't follow that religion. In our religion, what it teaches us, it's more or less like religion is you are going to die one day, you are going to take your good deeds, your good ways, what you have done good in this life, you are going to take it with you. Only yourself. Nobody is going to be there for you. Nobody is going to take care of you once you are done. And I think being a good human is what I think religion is. That's what my thinking is. A lot of amazing things, and I'm really speechless. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lily. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the session. And also say that you were the most people of summer. This is the most important thing is the potential. It's and I was brought up on the west coast of India. It's called Kensington. I came from a pure Catholic home, and so a lot of them were top fascinating. It's a very important another time, the person was that severe. The other thing was that a great it's just that question is so
These people were so happy and as I grew up, I started looking at other sources of philosophy, like wisdom figures. And one of the things that I started to describe it, and I remember that I used to get up. I went to the and the elders kept reading, and he would speak in the all in speaking. So he asked me, "What are you doing?" And then he started laughing. He said, "You know, probably people outside God up here, God inside. So you are God." And I had the same experience as the Holy exactly what it means that it is not so subtle faith that we should do them and we should do this and we should do them and we should continue to live together and appreciate that it's given us because we need to show that whatever your needs is.
And it's one more I'd like to thank everybody for coming here, number one. Number two, a small note to what Sylvan just said, I'd like to add, we have teams looking for aliens and they're going to be coming here very soon. Some people but yes, they are going to be here soon. So what do we present ourselves as? Be ready. Are you ready for humanity to be unite together and be present ourselves in the peace region? Are you going to see fight for that? I'm American, Indian, Muslim, history, and federal. No. Get ready to fight the okay, so we will fight the I love it. What makes you think that when they use yes, you're right. I'm just, you're right. This is fight. Maybe it's true that there are thousands of souls who are present. I know that it's here. I know that other I think absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're talking about. Absolutely. Yes. Let's celebrate with that. So there's going to be no fight, and we're going to be all together, harmonized humans and aliens, all living together in the same universe. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. So yeah, that like kind of. That doesn't mean we don't disagree. We do disagree, and we have our own discourse and discussions. Yes, that brings that sharpens human mind and brings about more advancement. Unless we discourse, we have discourses, unless we debate and analyze logically each other, even poll to certain extent, human advancement will take place. But thank you so much, guys, for coming here. I am so happy that finally I've been able to do a physical book launch of this book and that I've been able to reach you. And I want to reach beyond this room, beyond everything, because this book, I think, will touch your heart and touch your soul. And it will someday, you will connect with your own God every day. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching on Facebook Live. I just have to finish this. Let me know what it is. Okay, there's some snacks over there. Please help yourselves.